Hey guys, welcome to From the Pages. I am Anthony. This is Collectors Entertainment Network, and we're going to take a look at Sports Review Wrestling 1986. We're going to start off with January and do the full run of the 1986 year. But before we get into that, guys, I'd like to ask you, please subscribe, please comment, please share, and please like. All those things help the channel. Plus, I'd love to hear from you in the comments telling me your memory of these like Apter mags and stuff like that. I'd love to hear it, guys. So please jump down in the comments and let me know. And again, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. That would be great. All right. So we've done, obviously, From the Pages of WWF Magazine. We had just done Inside Wrestling. But before we go back to WWF Magazine, because I'm up to 1995, and there are some alternate covers that were released in England, at least, that I know of, that I'm trying to get a hold of that are complete. So it's taken me a little bit of time. So I figured I do have a complete year's run of Sports Review Wrestling 1986. So let's get into those. And definitely by the time we're done with this year, we'll be back with WWF Magazine. So in the few weeks that it takes us to get through that. All right. So that's enough of an intro. So just again, WWF Magazine will be back. Trust me, it will be. But right now we're going to do 1986 Sports Review Wrestling. So without any further ado, let's get into the pages. All right, guys, here we go. Sports Review Wrestling, January 1986. We've got The Butcher carves up the bull. Abdullah has finally gone too far. Randy Savage, too macho for Tito Santana. Up top, you got Humongous Reign of Terror. The worst is yet to come. And over here, you have Special Section. Martel, Magnum TA, Warriors, Mascaras, Freebirds, Von Erich, Flair. A record-breaking night in Comiskey Park. All right, let's get inside. And of course, right inside, all these Apter mags of this time are just full of ads. Then we finally get to your table of contents. There's Sports Review Wrestling, January 1986. All right, here's your mailbag. Obviously, letters to the editor or letters to the magazine. Mailbag, good stuff. The Tattler. Here we have correspondence. I guess that's your staff right there, but that's the Tattler. You've got Scott, Casey, and Sunshine in the Tattler. All right. Oh, your ad for all your little novelty gifts. The Inquiring Reporter. Who is that? That definitely looks like Captain Lou. Actually looks like Freddie Blassie. Was Freddie Blassie still putting on the tights every once in a while? I don't know. Alright, We Accuse. What is that? From time to time, the editors of this magazine find it necessary to condemn those in wrestling who would subvert the basic principles of decency, integrity, and honesty. Without such truths, our sport will die. Okay, there you go. All right, what's this? Top wrestlers answer your questions of the month. We've got Tully, Blanchard, Harley Race, J.J. Dillon, Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, Jake Roberts, Rick Martel, Rick Rude, Wahoo McDaniel, and Kerry Von Erich. The question of the month is, besides yourself, who do you think has the best chance of defeating Ric Flair for the NWA World Title? That's an interesting question. I wonder if that was, if they were actually answered by those wrestlers. All right, back issues of Inside Wrestling and back issues of The Wrestler. Of course, we have gone over all of 1985 for Inside Wrestling here on the channel. All right, Wrestler of the Month, Terry Taylor. It says January 1985 up here, but clearly this is the January 86 issue, so maybe they made a mistake. We'll see what the next issue says if they got it right for that one. All right, next time Gino cheats, don't just sit there. Ram his head into the turnbuckle. The Von Erich Family World Championship Wrestling game. I have never heard of that. That's funny. Guys, if you guys have heard about it, if you know it, if you played it, if you have it, let me know in the comments below. The Von Erich Family World Championship Wrestling game. Interesting. All right, the Wrestling Monthly, different from all the rest. Subscribe to Sports Review Wrestling. That's the magazine we are looking at right now. All right, we've got a Sports Review interview Baron von Raschke. I wonder if these interviews were real or written. Does anybody know? Anyone have any, actual evidence? People saying it? Write down in the comments below. All right, there we go. Super Clash 85, a record-breaking night in Comiskey Park. This is what they were talking about on the cover. Let's see what was going on there. All right, you had Steve Regal versus Brad Reingans. Not sure who that is. Got Giant Baba Tenryu and Jumbo Tsurudu versus the Long Riders and Harley Race. Greg Gagne, Kurt Hennig, and Scott Hall versus Nick Bockwinkel, Ray Stevens, and Larry Zbyszko. Mil Mascaras versus Buddy Roberts. We've got Candy Devine versus Sherry Martel. We've got Kerry Von Erich versus Gorgeous Jim Garvin. We've got Nikita Koloff, Ivan Koloff, and Crusher Khrushchev versus Crusher Bruiser and Baron Von Raschke. We've got Jerry Blackwell versus Kamala. We've got Sergeant Slaughter versus Boris Zukov. The Road Warriors versus the Freebirds. Now, if I'm going too fast, guys, pause the video and take a look at the pictures. And we've got Ric Flair versus Magnum TA and Rick Martel versus Stan Hansen. I guess was this for the NWA title and this for the AWA title? Because Super Clash was a sort of cross-promotion event as far as I remember. Alright, the Butcher carves up the bull. Abdullah has finally gone too far. More on that. We've got Randy Savage to Macho for Tito Santana. Let's see, this is January of 86, so he has not won, and by January of 86, I mean it probably came out in October of 85. So he has obviously not won the IC title. Now, unlike Inside Wrestling, they used to have like one page, and then the article was continued later. We'll see as we get further, but this is kind of showing like articles, just going through the entire article instead of doing one page or 2 pages of an article and then continued on page 57 or something like that. All right, Humongous Reign of Terror. The worst is yet to come. Who is that? I don't even know. I'm sure it says in there. If you guys know, write down in the comments below. I don't know what was going on. I kind of maybe at this time maybe not, but shortly thereafter I knew what was going on in the NWA because that was always on TV. But other federations I only knew from magazines like this. All right, ratings analysis. Every month this column will tell fans how we go about rating more than 150 wrestlers in 14 different categories. All right, so they tell you how to do it. But, of course, the ratings are probably going to be on the next page. But, look, it's good old JR right there. We have yeah, we go. All right, official wrestling ratings. You've got your top 10, your tag teams. And then you've got NWA, AWA, WWF, World Championship. You've got World Class, Mid-South, Florida, Mid-Southern, Continental, Northwest, Most Popular, and Most Hated. This gives you more federations than, say, like Inside Wrestling did. Because you got, look, Mid-South, Florida. It's interesting. But see, NWA, isn't all this part of the NWA? Right? That's what I always thought. Alright, special subscription offer to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. And here you've got Mailbag continued. Now, Mailbag was only one page, so I could see that being continued. Alright, this month in The Wrestler, you've got, looks like Bruno Sammartino. Then you've got Ric Flair, Wahoo McDaniel, Tommy Rich, The Flame, Corporal Kirshner, Sergeant Slaughter, Kerry Von Erich, Starship Eagle. Never heard of him. Alright, in Inside Wrestling, you've got Rick Steamboat takes on Magnificent Morocco. You've got Ivan Koloff and Crusher Khrushchev battle the Rock and Roll Express. Plus, Mike Von Erich, Jake the Snake Roberts, the Road Warriors, Paul Ellering, and Jim Cornette. And over here, you got wrestling's greatest subscription deal, like getting 8 issues for free. Looks like Inside Wrestling and The Wrestler. All right, here's your Mailbag continued again. So it looks like the Mailbag is at least so, right now the only thing continued. And that's fine. That's actually, kind of better. I like the articles straight through, but we'll see how it goes. All right, we have the We Accuse continued. And again, this is also good because it's like their columns should have that like one page and then continued in the back, and let their features, they should run straight through. So that's good. And look at this, back issues of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Good stuff. Here's the Tattler continued. There's Rick Rude. There's Harley Race. We've got Sports Review Interview and Inquiring Reporter. Both of those continued from earlier pages. Of course, there's Baron Von Raschke, and there is, it looks like, Vern Gagne. I don't know who he's taken on. Is it Nick Bockwinkel? I'm not sure. That's what it says in the caption, I think. And it kind of looks like him. All right, we've got the Comiskey Park article. That is continued over here. And then you've got Sports Review Wrestling back issues. It's a magazine we're looking at right now. Almost done. Here is the Comiskey Park continued. Looks like that's probably, here are all the results. And the Comiskey Park one was less of an article. It was more of like pictures. A lot of pictures. All right, the most incredible grab bag in wrestling history. Back issues of all these cool vintage magazines. Gotta love it. And more with the Comiskey Park results. Go First Class. You've got some more wrestling magazines. Here's the Abdullah the Butcher and the humongous articles continued. And Wrestling USA, the All-American back issue offer. All right, here we are at the end. And of course, it's ads. Let's see what the back cover is. All right, Wrestling's Best, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Inside Wrestling, and The Wrestler. 36 magazines for only $42. And guys, there you go. That is the January 1986 issue of Sports Review Wrestling. All right, guys, that was the January 1986 issue of Sports Review Wrestling. Guys, again, I'm going to ask you, please subscribe, please comment, please like, and please share. All those things help the channel a lot, and it is greatly appreciated. All right, we're going to be back next week with the February 1986 issue of Sports Review Wrestling. But until then, guys, have a good one.